Hey, it's Stephanie from Janku. Today I'm going to show you how to do the slicing effect on text in Inkscape. So I got this pretty cool idea from another YouTuber doing an Inkscape video. I'll put his link in the comments for you to see. But first I'm going to start creating, I guess I'll just work with one letter today. And the letter is going to be J. And what I'll do is I just typed J with the Create and Edit Text Objects tool. And then I'm going to click on the bottom arrow, hold Control, and it will keep the size of the J. So I'm going to head over now to Path, Object to Path. And what that'll do is it will convert it from a text format to now an object with a path. So you can see there's these nodes that have been created. And then what I'll do is I'm going to start creating the slice, the little cuts in the letter. And I'm going to just start with this Bezier tool. And I'm going to, let's put a slice here. And then when I click down and then I just select another place on the screen and then click again, and it will create a curved line. And then I'm going just to go back to the original node, click right on it, and now I've created a shape. It's a little thick right now, so I'm going to use my node, the Edit Paths by Nodes tool, and I'm going to just shrink it down just a little bit. So let's put a slice here, and let's put a slice here. Okay. So now what I will do is I'm going to use this node tool again. I'm going to select the letter and the slice, and I'm going to go to the Path menu and select Division. And it looks like the slice disappeared, but it actually, what it did was it created this separation in the letter. So I'm just going to click on the remaining part of the letter and click the other slice, and I'm going to do the same thing, going to select division, and it did the same thing. So if I zoom in, I'm going to do the node tool again, and I'm just going to select that slice. Oops, actually, that looks pretty cool too. If I delete this, I'm just clicking on it and trying to hit the delete button, getting this kind of cool effect here. Going along with this, kind of like it. So let's make some adjustments. So this is not exactly what I was going for, but I'm just going to play around with it. Initially, I was just going to delete that middle part of the slice and take it right out. But I want to work with what we have to see what we can get here. Let's just extend this. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. And let's push this down. We don't want too much of a curve. We want it to really look like a slice was taken out of it. So, let's see here. You know what? I think what I'll do with this one, let's ungroup this. And I'm going to just select this and delete. That'll make it a little bit more clean. And then let's take a look at what's going on here. Just gonna bring this down. And I guess what I can do is I can show you two different ways of doing this. I mean, there's you know, billions of ways you can make different designs, but I'll give you two different kinds. So the first slice, I'm going to work on, let's say, a knife cut right through here. So it's going to leave a little bit of this like dripping. So I'm going to extend the line out. Actually, the better way to do this is to make sure your snap grid is on. And you can do this by going to the View, Show Hide, and you have the snap controls right there. You can select it. I've already selected it, so it's right here. And I'm going to make sure that when I hit a corner, it snaps right to it. Okay, so now I'm going to hold Control to maintain a straight line. I'm just going to come out a little ways. Now I'm going to click and hold and drag until I get a curve that I like. And then I think I'm going to end it right here. And then I'm going to just come out with this and end it right here. So get this kind of strange looking little blob. I'm going to edit this blob though. It's not exactly in the shape that I want. And a cool way of allowing this little blob to be more malleable, you can select this node tool and add additional nodes by double clicking on whatever object you're playing with. So in this case, I just want it to look like the drop is flailing through the air and it's been shaped into this thin little droplet. And I'm going to use this rounding tool here, make it a little bit more round. And this can come out a little bit more. And I'm going to fill it with the same black and get rid of the stroke. Maybe have this come out a little bit more. Push this up a little bit. Alright, let's see what we got already. Let's play around with it just a little bit more. Make that a little rounder. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go over to the side and let's see, since I did this a little differently than I normally do, I'm going to zoom in here and I'm just going to start from some edge. I'm going to make this curved line and start making a little droplet here as well and curve that out and end. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill it and I'm going to get rid of that stroke, which is the border. And I wanted to have the effect that it's kind of, it's part of this existing shape. Let's add a few more nodes. I like that moving. I'm going to add a node there so when I move this whole line does not move. Let's just move this here. And sometimes adding more nodes doesn't necessarily help. It makes an object look less put together. It makes it kind of bumpy looking. That's okay, but so you can even just select a node and select delete and it'll get rid of the node. It's not, you know, the end of the world if you create a bunch of nodes and it messes up your shape. So let's see here. That looks a little bumpy. I'm just gonna curve that. Oh, that did not make it look better. Let's curve this one. Okay, that's a little better. All right, let's see what we got. I love to zoom out and see what I'm working with. Okay, that's not so bad. This droplet, I'm trying to make it a little smaller. It's kind of competing with the one below, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing. All right, let's round this out. Round that out. There we go. Let's make that a little smaller. Yeah, that's looking better. Let's move this up a little bit. All right. I think that's sufficient for now. I'm gonna go back to this one and just mess with it a little bit more. Let's round this out. Gonna round that out. Okay, great. We got some kind of drip action going on here. You can continue playing with the droplet until it's satisfactory to you. Now I'm just gonna Control C and Control V, and I just made a copy of that drop that we had. Just gonna add it right here. Yeah. So this one, as you notice, I didn't remove the slice on this one either. Like I said, I'd recommend it. I'm just going to copy this one. And I'm going to, let's see, going to flip it this way. Going to turn it. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Hold on. There we go. All right. So you see some slicing going on here. You can add maybe like a little, I'm going to shut the snap off. I'm going to add like a little droplet here. Round that out, and we're going to fill it and remove the stroke. And I like to zoom out a little bit. So yeah, you can just play around and adjust this as so. Careful moving objects. Sometimes there's this plus sign. You see this plus sign right in the middle? I'll zoom in. That plus sign is the axis in which this object rotates around. So, for instance, if I'm about to rotate this object, it's going to rotate in accordance to where that little cross is. If I select the cross and move it somewhere else on the canvas, you're going to notice that when I turn it, now it's turning in rotation to the cross. So I'm just going to Control hit Z and undo that. But it's something good to know because when I started out using Inkscape, I was trying to move objects and I noticed that I wasn't dragging it over. I was dragging over the plus sign, but because I didn't know what that was for, I ended up just rotating and doing all sorts of strange things that I wasn't aware of. And you can just add little drips to it. You can really kind of go crazy with this stuff. You can even take the object and let's say, so everything connected to this part of the letter you want to select, and you want to right click and group, and we'll do it with this too. We're going to group, then we're going to also group this. All right, so you can kind of like say it's, you know, it's sliced off a little bit, so you can change. Oh, there's that part of the slice we never got. Let's group that. And let's say this is more like that. To show you originally what I was going for, let's try a D. And I just used that text tool. I'm gonna go back to this first arrow tool, and I'm going to select this down arrow. You can select any arrow, but I'm going to select this one and hold Control. And this one's a little harder just because there's more places where the slices will intersect. But I'm not going to do the whole process here, but I'll quickly show you, the proper way to create the slice. So I'm going to drag this. I'm going to hit the right click to end it. And I'm going to go right back to the original node, drag as thick as I want the slice, and I'm going to let go. And it's going to become its own little slice. Then I'm going to go over to the fill. I'm going to fill that up. Let's change it to another color so we can see what it looks like. Going to remove the stroke. Now we're going to convert the letter back into, or we're going to convert it into a path. So we go to Object to Path, and you can see all the nodes. Now I'm going to select with my node tool, I'm going to select the slice. I'm going to go to Path, and I'm going to select Division. And when we zoom in, we're going to select this tool once more. Once we've selected that slice in the middle, we can actually just go back to the regular arrow tool and we can delete it right there. And I'll switch back and delete. And this is probably a better way to start creating the slices. So like I was doing before, I just created a straight line. You can put the snap back on so that you can connect perfectly with the edge. But create some kind of little droplet, end it at a certain point, and then create a triangle from the base of the letter. And then go back and just edit the points. You may need to use the smoothing nodes to help you smooth out to make it look like a really nice droplet. And then go back and fill and remove the stroke. Try to keep it the same color as the letter. And yeah, just essentially keep on adding these little drips and make it appear as though when it slices through, it's pushing some of the matter to the side and it's becoming kind of liquid. That concludes my tutorial today. Feel free to leave questions and comments in the comments section. And remember to subscribe and tune in every Wednesday. I'll have a new Inkscape tutorial. I'll also include, like I said earlier, that link to that other talented Inkscape artist who did the slice with an S. So feel free to check that out. Thank you for tuning in and catch you later.